A wise man once said, "The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. But these robot arms are pretty sick!" Anarcho-primitivism, transhumanism, bitter rivals, or secret lovers. Transhumanism and anarcho-primitivism are seemingly completely opposite ideologies. While ideologies like social conservatism and social progressivism are on opposite ends of the socio-cultural spectrum, and ideologies like socialism and capitalism are on opposite ends of the economic spectrum, the ideologies of anarcho-primitivism and transhumanism are on the opposite ends of a spectrum that we don't really talk that much about. The technological spectrum. Anarcho-primitivism says we should cast off the chains of technology and return to the wilds. The most extreme anarcho-primitivists think that even agriculture was a mistake, and that human beings should be hunter-gatherers, like nature has designed us to be. Transhumanists are quite different. They think that we should be using technology to transcend our mortal limitations. This includes bionic enhancements like robot arms, but it also includes stuff like uploading your consciousness to a mainframe and transcending your mortal coil entirely. Now look, it's no question that our societies have made us individually sadder, have destroyed the planet, have forced us into overpopulated, dense spaces that make us miserable, and long for a time that we were just a simple animal creature living in the wild. We are caught up in massive, bureaucratic machines beyond our comprehension that we can no longer justify. Our lifespans grow long while we truly live less and less and less. All that being said, I really want these robot arms! So how do we synthesize the two ideologies? The answer is something I call primitive transhumanism. Transhumo-primitivism? Transhuman primitivism. Trans-primitivism? Prim-humanism. Yeah, we're gonna go with primitive transhumanism. I've tried to combine the different parts of these ideologies the best I can into a feasible system, but they're kind of like oil and water for the most part. We'll get to that. Which is to say, they can definitely exist alongside each other, but it's hard to truly integrate them. Primitivism within transhumanism. So this one is probably the easiest to imagine. We have a kind of cybernetic society, a sci-fi sort of society where, bionic enhancements are regular things. People regularly upload their consciousness to, virtual realities where they simulate 1,000 years, stuff like that. Now, obviously, not everybody would be down with this kind of society. They wouldn't want to be plugged into a mainframe their whole lives. They would want their physical body to be going out and doing stuff. So, here are 3 ways that primitivism could easily exist within a transhumanist society. First, there could be actual stretches of land, maybe even full planets that have been untouched by the transhumanist society, where people could go and live out a hunter-gatherer sort of life. Part of transhumanism is the idea that you can virtually uplink your consciousness to simulate something in a virtual world. Kind of like a VR video game that slows down time as you play it. In a transhumanist society, you would be able to live out a life as a hunter-gatherer fully, simulated in your brain, and then once you die in the simulation, you'd probably wake up and it would be like 5 minutes later. In this scenario, you simply have actual cavemen running around, but you have brain chips in them. People can simply uplink their consciousness. So again, not a great solution for the anarcho-primitivist, but at least they get to actually live out their lives through living out someone else's life by taking over their consciousness. Don't think about the moral implications. So none of those options really work out well for the primitivists because it is primitivism contained within a transhumanist society. So what if it was the inverse? What if it was transhumanism contained within a primitivist society? This is a little harder to feasibly pull off, and we're gonna have to stretch the definition of transhumanism to really be more about the spirit of transcending the physical limitations of the body. In small doses, anarcho-primitivists could have experiences similar to them transcending this human condition and feeling something else, at least for a little while. We would take advantage of the primitive's mind to get lost in the power of storytelling. Tribe elders would use medicinal herbs to put cavemen into a trance-like state, and then tell them a story. They would have an out-of-body experience. They might even believe that they are the person that the story is being told about, depending on how the tribe elders tell the story. Not exactly transhumanism, but the next best thing is like a peg leg or something, so, it's the best we got here. Also, I guess that skull binding stuff, where like your head gets all elongated because they bind you at birth, might be an example of like transhumanism if you're stretching it. So maybe these ideologies truly are incompatible. There's no way to coherently fuse both of them together into anything coherent, right? Wrong. That's right, I have developed a completely coherent transhumanist, primitivist philosophy. And how does it go? How does this philosophy function politically, you might ask? Well, I think I should just show you.